I will call to order this regular meeting of the Board of Public Works this Tuesday, February 15th of 2022. First up, we will start with messages from the board. We don't have any sealed bids, right? We did that in the work session, so I'm skipping that on the agenda.
Correct.
Okay, so we'll start with, yep.
Right, I sent out an updated agenda. Did you get that?
Yes.
I did.
Okay.
I think I downloaded it, so hopefully I have the right one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go to messages from the board.
I just want to thank again everyone that was involved in this last big storm we had in clearing the streets, and that was a big snowstorm and lots of ice, and so thanks to everybody who was involved in keeping our city safe.
And Russell, this is a good time to publicly wish you a happy retirement. We thank you for your service and we hope you enjoy what comes next.
Hear, hear. Thanks, Russell.
Thank you. Next up, we have petitions and remonstrances. This is an opportunity for public comment for anything that is not on the agenda this evening. If you'd like to make a public comment, you can use the raised hand function, or you can add a comment in the chat. And it looks like we have a public comment from Greg Alexander.
Greg, you can go ahead and unmute.
Awesome, thank you. My name is Greg Alexander. I bothered to collect this data, so I guess I'll share it with you. It stopped snowing on the morning of Friday the 4th, and today, 11 days later, I just measured an hour ago, there's a pile of snow 17 inches high on the sidewalk at 11th and Fairview under the train bridge there. And there's another pile of snow also 17 inches high, completely blocking the bike lane on College Avenue at 14th Street. This snow didn't just fall from the sky, it was pushed there by city plows. In fact, all of the railroad crossings are like this. Walnut, College, Rogers, Fairview, Adams, they all have chronically unmaintained sidewalks. Every pedestrian that needs to cross the railroad tracks does so without the city's help. For months to come, we'll be slipping and sliding on the moraine that falls out of these mountains of snow, all the gravel and dirt and sand and bits of cars that have been pushed there by the plows. I like to tell you things you don't already know, but the fact is I think you do already know, so I'm sorry to waste your time. The city spends enormous resources on maintaining roads. Just looking at today's claim register, I skimmed really quickly and I saw $100,000 for 1,000 tons of de-icing salt. I don't think it's any secret we don't really maintain sidewalks, barely at all. That burden falls on the landowner, but even when that party is the city, the sidewalk typically goes unmaintained. That's true right outside my door. There's a city-owned lot that is the sidewalk. It's not cleared. You know, it's never cleared. There's trees growing over it. I'm the one who cuts the trees off, but I'm the one who clears the snow on it. Something that might be news to you is that in 2008, the council passed an addendum to the growth policies plan. If you remember that far back, it's called the Greenway System Plan. And that plan specified in precise language that maintaining sidewalks should be the responsibility of public works. The Department of Public Works successfully ignored that plan for an entire decade until it was replaced by the city's more recent comprehensive plan. And since 2018, that plan hasn't been as specific, but it's been even more ambitious. It says pedestrians are the city's highest transportation priority, bicyclists come second, and cars come third. Now, I have a plan. I have a plan to fix this disparity of unmaintained pedestrian infrastructure. I think this board should stonewall all departmental business until the director comes to you to tell you that the 2023 budget request for Department of Public Works will include additional staff and equipment to clear plants, debris, and snow off of sidewalks. I don't expect you to think that this is a reasonable request. I can already hear Director Wason chuckling at how I am yet again being unreasonable, but this is the sort of plan that someone who cares about pedestrian safety will come up with. If you care about sidewalks, I hope you come up with an even better plan. If you don't have a plan, well, I beg you to have a plan. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Any other public comments on items not on the agenda this evening? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. Under the consent agenda, we have approval of minutes from February 1st of 2022. We have resolution 2022-03, disposal of surplus property from the BPD, acceptance of public improvements associated with Whitehall Crossing subdivision, and approval of payroll. Do we have any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda this evening? Seeing none. Do we have any public comments on anything within the consent agenda this evening? Again, you can use the raised hand function or you can put a comment in the chat. Okay, seeing none. Do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. I will call the roll. Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Elizabeth Crone,
Yes.
Kyla Cox-Deckard, yes, motion passes. Next up, we have new business. First under new business is resolution 2022-02, special event Spring Thing.
Hi, April Rosenberger, Public Works. This event is hosted by or organized by Six Ways Markets, and they are requesting to the closure of West 9th Street from North Walnut to North College for a pop-up market for local vendors, giving them a place to vend, and meet people in the community. This is the same footprint as a previous special event that we had in October, and it does not present a problem for engineering or any other department. And Beck Holiday is here if you have any questions for him. He is part of the organization that is hosting this event.
Not to make it
Great.
weird, but I'm actually a woman, but thank you so much.
Oh, I am so sorry.
I know the name is.
I apologize.
It's okay.
Does the board have any questions on this item? Oh, Beth, you're muted.
You're muted.
Yeah, yesterday in the work session, I think it was Emily that said that she was going to add a couple of different barriers to that site. Has that been decided? Has she taken care of that, Beck?
Yeah, I added some water barriers so that pedestrians could cross within the barriers instead of outside of them, and then barriers that would block the alley as well.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions from the board on this item? Do we have any public comment on this item? Again, you can do the raised hand function or add a comment in the chat if you do. All right, I do not see a public comment. Do we have a motion on this item?
I move that we approve resolution 2022-02, special event Spring Thing.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second, so I will call the roll. Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Elizabeth Crone,
Yes.
Kyla Cox-Deckard, yes, motion passes. Next
All right,
up, we
thanks
have,
so much.
thank you.
Bye.
Have a great week. Thanks. Next up, we have a construction contract for the 17th Street Monroe to Grant Path Tree Clearing Project.
Good evening, everyone. This is Russell White with the Engineering Department. This project involves tree clearing for the 17th Street Path Project. This project runs from Monroe to Grant Street. The Path Project includes construction of the path on the north side of the street, as well as accessible sidewalk ramps, replacement of an existing sidewalk, and some intersection improvements. The project's maintenance of traffic is to be approved with this board by the board with this contract. The maintenance of traffic will require a temporary construction zone with the use of flaggers, and will also involve a couple of short-term full closures in order to be safe, as the contractor may have to stop traffic in both directions for approximately 15 minutes when a tree is being brought down. Staff requested quotes from 5 separate contractors. We received one quote in return from Monroe LLC in the amount of $22,500. Staff reviewed the quote and are recommending awarding the contract to Monroe LLC as the lowest responsible and responsive quoter. and I will answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Questions from the board on this item? Is there any public comment on this item? If you have public comment, you can use the raised hand function, or you can put a comment in the chat.
I don't see anything.
All right, seeing no comments, do we have a motion on this item?
I move that we approve the construction contract for the 17th Street Monroe to Grant Path Tree Clearing Project to Monroe LLC.
Second,
All right, we have a motion and a second. I'll call the roll call vote. Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Elizabeth Crone,
yes.
Kyla Cox-Deckard, yes. Motion passes. Next up, we have change order number 3 for the Maxwell Street Sidewalk project.
This is Russell White again with City Engineering. This is a completed project. The contract included the installation of a new sidewalk on the east side of South Maxwell Street from East Miller Drive to East Short Street. The original contract amount was $136,826. There have been a couple change orders that have been approved by the board and adjusted this contract amount to $122,892.35. Change order number 3 is required to resolve a claim resolution of the final contract amount. If approved, this change order would result in an increase of $3,046.95. And there were some adjustments to curb concrete that added $1,575.45. There was an adjustment on some other items that reduced the contract by $583.50. There was also an item added to the contract because there was a fire hydrant that was to be removed by the contractor or relocated, and became very involved, and CBU felt more comfortable doing their own work on their system. But the contractor had spent some time, a good portion of a day, excavating to find all of this. And so he would like to add $2,055 for the amount of time he spent doing the excavation. The final adjusted contract amount, if this is approved, would be $125,939.30. And I will answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Questions from the board on this item?
This project has been completed, Russ.
This project was completed in middle to end of September.
Okay, and you're satisfied with the work done?
Yes, ma'am. The work is very well done.
Okay, thank you.
And it is staff's belief that this is the last of the change orders on this item, closing out the claim.
Yes, we've been working with the contractor along with during this change order, and he seems content with this change order. So this should be the last one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Any public comment on this item? You can use the raised hand function or put a comment in the chat. Okay, seeing none, is there a motion on this item?
I move that we approve change order number 3 for the Maxwell Street Sidewalk project.
Second,
All right, we have a motion and a second. I will call the roll call vote. Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Elizabeth Crone,
yes.
Kyla Cox-Deckard, yes. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have contract with Irving Materials, Inc. for concrete materials.
Hi again, April Rosenberger, Public Works, presenting for Adam. This is quotes were requested for concrete materials, and Irving Materials, Inc. Was the most responsible and responsive quoter. And it is recommended to award this contract based on past usage of concrete materials from this supplier.
Thank you. Questions from the board on this item?
April, is this for $60,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And April, is this concrete to be used on a specific project?
I don't think it's one specific project. I think
Okay.
it's several throughout the city.
Okay, thank you.
As needed, contract?
Yes.
Concrete is needed.
Are there any public comments on this item? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion?
I move that we approve contract with Irving Materials, Inc. for concrete materials of $60,000 for the contract.
Second,
All right, there's a motion and a second. I will call for the vote. Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Elizabeth Crone,
yes.
Kyla Cox Deckard, yes. Motion carries. Next up is staff reports and other business.
April Rosenberger, Public Works. Again, I'm not as smooth as Adam in reporting the goings on of the city, but I do want to thank all of the crews for their hard work during the winter weather. It was pretty bad. It wasn't as bad where I am, but I know that there were some volunteers from different departments and they all chipped in and worked really, really hard and long hours. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Next up is approval of claims. Do we have any questions from the board on claims? Do we have any public comments on claims? Seeing none, is there a motion on claims?
I move we approve claims $1,007,598.14.
Second,
All right, we have a motion and a second. I will call for the vote. Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Elizabeth Crone,
yes.
Kyla Cox Deckard, yes. Motion passes. And if there is nothing else for tonight's business, I will call for adjournment.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks.